It's Super Wildcard Weekend. This is Kate's Takes, and here are my picks. The NFL playoffs are probably one of the most exciting times to be an NFL fan, and I am super excited at some of the matchups we get to see this weekend. Before I get into my picks, I just want to reiterate that this is just an opinion. I'm not trying to push this as fact, this is just for fun. With that being said, let's get right into the games. The first game we have is the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle has completely defied the odds. From being projected as to being a bottom 3 NFL team, they have turned it around and made the NFL playoffs with Geno Smith under center. You also have the San Francisco 49ers with a powerful offense, an amazing defense, and an underdog in rookie quarterback Brock Purdy. My pick is San Francisco. I do think they win this game very soundly. I think that their offense and defense is a little too overwhelming for Seattle this year, so I have San Francisco moving on to the next round. The next matchup is surely one that's been marked on my calendar. It is the Los Angeles Chargers versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. It is Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence's debut in the playoffs, and I cannot wait to see how this game turns out. I think that this will be a back and forth high-scoring game, but I do think that the Chargers have the edge over the Jaguars, a slight edge. I can see Jacksonville pulling off a win too. Trust me, this game was very hard for me to pick out a winner. Next up, we have the Bills and the Dolphins. The Dolphins have had a rocky half of the season, and without Tua being under center, I definitely don't see Miami winning this game. I think Buffalo beats them pretty soundly. Next up, we have the New York Giants versus the Minnesota Vikings. The last time these two teams met, Minnesota won by a game-winning field goal. Not this time. I don't think Brian Daboll loses to the Vikings twice. I have the Giants upsetting the Vikings in the playoffs. Don't get me wrong, the Vikings are a good team and they have very talented players on their roster, but their front seven concerns me and I have questions around Kirk Cousins. But if the Vikings pull off the win, which is definitely possible, I won't be surprised. The Sunday night game will be the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Baltimore Ravens. The Bengals have looked red hot, winning 8 in a row. Meanwhile, as for the Ravens, things haven't been so great since Lamar went down. Since Lamar Jackson went down, the Ravens have averaged around 13 points per game. And with Cincinnati being a red hot offense, 13 points a game is not going to cut it trying to keep up with Cincinnati. So for this game, I have the Bengals winning. The last game is the Buccaneers and the Dallas Cowboys. For this game, I've been pretty back and forth on. The Buccaneers haven't moved me all season, and I know not to bet against Tom Brady in the playoffs, but there's a lot of issues with this team that I just cannot overlook. The Cowboys, however, I have questions around Dak Prescott, their defense, and their reputation in the playoffs hasn't been the best recently. I think this will be a very low-scoring game, and I do give the Cowboys the slight edge. However, I'm not surprised if Tom Brady does his thing and the Buccaneers win this game. Well, those are my picks for Super Wildcard Weekend. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for all the support. I will see you next week for the divisional round video. This is Kate's Takes. See you next week.